not?
I would never want my daughter dating a black guy.
Tell me why.
Just because I want my daughter or son to look like me.
It's good.
So in my opinion, interracial marriages between black people and white people are a direct indication of self-hate.
Here's my take on why interracial relationships are questionable. I'm speaking specifically black and white people.
So a white man says that if you really love your race and culture, you would stick to your own race.
Interracial mixing is a mental illness. If you truly loved your people, your culture, your heritage, and loved yourself as an individual, then you would seek somebody within your own clan to...
You know, people love to use the Bible to justify hating on people who live a life they don't agree with.
Yo, I'm gonna be real. One thing about an interracial relationship, if you're not in one, you should mind your fucking business.
We live in a crazy world, y'all. I don't understand it how people you don't know get mad at you because of who you married.
Look, somebody got to tell the truth about the real reason why y'all won't marry outside of your tribe, race, or ethnicity. Because y'all are cowards. Y'all are scared about what your parents are going to say if you marry someone that's not from your tribe.
My dad didn't approve when I married a dark-skinned man.
Don't date outside your race, they said? We did one better.
And what the fuck am I supposed to say to this? Do you want to I'm sorry? Because ain't shit gonna change.
For me, low-key, it's a problem.
What, race mixing?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm just trying to get a feel for this because you're fervently pro-feminist, but you're against race mixing?
First of all, I do not say the N-word, and I'm not racist in a bad way, but okay. I think race mixing is a bad thing because it makes culture and history and past, like everything a country has, the cultural identity, it rots it out.
I agree.
My dad didn't approve when I married a dark-skinned man. He's some kind of a racist hillbilly. When I was pregnant, he told me he didn't want anything to do with my biracial daughter. Here he is painting her toenails on her 3rd birthday. Here's proof people can change. Personally, I wouldn't allow my child within a mile of a person who would normally hate their guts. But that's just me. I'm supposed to trust that individual because they see my child as the exception to that racism. I know it's very hard to conceptualize, but mixed children's goal in life and the burden of their existence isn't to change the world or your parents. It's not. What you read in that tweet is the direct pipeline to I can't be racist, my granddaughter is biracial. A literal shield. This is a dating tip for black people and people of color dating outside of their race. If your non-black or non-POC partner isn't willing to cut off all contact with the racist people in their family, you leave them. Your child will be tokenized and fetishized in the name of love. Typically, they're also more attached to that racist family member than they care about your mental health and well-being, let alone your safety if they keep you around them. If a child is the exception to a person's racism, you're not in a safe situation. They could snap.
Black should be with black. Yes. On the subject of interracial, I don't agree with it at all. The Bible doesn't agree with it. And what I like about Christ is Jesus Christ gave us the spirit of how to keep the Torah. So he gave us the spirit of not giving away your daughters and your sons. I'm pretty sure what I say about this side is in general. When you look at the black experience, there's a lot of black men that have a wife or a woman that when they go through black issues cannot relate to them because they're with someone that's not their own. Same thing with black women. When they go through pain, they're with men that are not their own race, so how could they ever understand it?
People really wake up angry that 2 adults from 2 different races fell in love. Imagine being that offended by somebody else being happy. How stupid is that? Realistically, you know these people that are bothered by this, I reckon they secretly bashed the ebony category in the quiet. They're just projecting insecurities, to be honest. If an interracial couple makes you spiral, maybe they're not the issue. Maybe you are. Anyway, bruv, love who loves you back. And who gives a fuck about the rest? Imagine being offended by happiness.
Why do black people get mad when a black person is dating a white person? Last time I checked, this is America. We have the freedom to do what the fuck we want to do. If a white person make a black person happy, then he can date and marry her. Or she can date and marry him. It's strange. The people that call everybody racist have the most racist behavior.
Can we be honest for a second? It's 2026. We have smartphones, AI. People can work from anywhere in the world. Yet somehow, some people still lose their minds when they see a black person dating a white person, an Asian person dating a Latina, or any couple that doesn't look traditional. Why does someone else's relationship bother complete strangers? Hi guys, welcome back to Unfiltered For You Stories. The goal isn't to attack anyone, but to understand why these conversations keep coming up. So let's get into this. Remember to share your thoughts in the comments and I'll catch up with you.
There's no such thing as interracial marriage biologically. There's no such thing as biracial children either. There's only one race children because we all go back to Adam and Eve. Now, there is an interracial marriage the Bible does speak against, but it's not biological, it's spiritual. In other words, don't be unequally yoked. A Christian should never knowingly marry a non-Christian. That is the interracial marriage the Bible speaks about, and it's a catastrophe for families because then it destroys passing that spiritual legacy on from one generation to the next.
How you doing? Hey, you know you diluting the race by dating this white woman. Wait, I'm trying to see something.
As a white woman, this is one of the most frustrating things ever. Since when did it have anything to do with you? What skin colour he dates? I'm sure if he wanted to date a black girl, he'd date a black girl. But he's happy. As a white woman who has a black partner, he's chosen me because he loves me as a person, because he's attracted to me as a person. I'm sure if he wanted to date a black girl, he would date a black girl. But he's chosen me. It's got absolutely nothing to do with anyone, what skin colour you date. Whether it be white, black, what does it matter? As long as that person's happy, who cares?
We live in a crazy world, y'all. I don't understand it how people you don't know get mad at you because of who you married. For example, I'm in a biracial marriage. My wife is Latina. When I go to certain stores like Home Depot, which is like one of my favorite stores, we get women who look at us and mumble under their breath, give us these crazy looks. And I don't know them from Adam, and Miss Beast don't either. That's because I'm a black man married to a Latina don't make me less of a black man. Nor does it make me less than a man. As a matter of fact, I believe you should love who you want to love. Find you a spouse who is in alignment with your values. If you're Asian and you find a white person that aligns with your values more, get with them. If you are a black woman that finds a white guy that aligns with your values, marry them. We need to stop making things about race and skin color and start making it about values and character. Because hating on me, my wife, and my family, it only hurts you. It don't hurt me. Let's make America great again. Beast out.
Here's my take on why interracial relationships are questionable. I'm speaking specifically black and white people. So the first reason is that interracial relationships can stem from a very negative place. Let me put an emphasis on I don't think they all stem from a bad place. But the ones that do stem from a negative place look a little something like this. I want light-skinned babies with green eyes and loose curly hair. Or my parents don't like black people, so I'm gonna go date a black person. Or, oh my gosh, they're so cute on social media, I want a black significant other. Number 2. The non-black parent and the black child will always have a social disconnect because of the social climate that we live in. The non-black parent can have as much empathy as they want, but they won't ever be able to understand what it's like to be a black person in America. And the third reason, us half-breeds, that shit is so funny to me, are stuck right in the middle. And it's more of just an internal struggle of like where we're accepted, honestly. Yeah, please don't attack me. Be with who you want to be. Just have good intentions.
You know, people love to use the Bible to justify hating on people who live a life they don't agree with. Now, with that being said, my mother made me go to church every Sunday and Wednesday until I moved out at 18 years old, and I never learned that about interracial couples. Ever. I did learn that you shouldn't be getting drunk.
Ephesians 5:18.
You shouldn't be having premarital sex.
1 Corinthians 6:18.
You shouldn't be gossiping.
Proverbs 20:19.
You shouldn't judge others.
Matthew 7:1.
You shouldn't be greedy.
Luke 12:15.
And love thy neighbor, even if they're black, brown, yellow, red, gay. It don't matter.
Mark 30:1.
Hell, it even says that eating shrimp is an abomination.
Leviticus 11:12.
Sako went to a Christian high school. But there's absolutely nothing in there about interracial couples or mixing. Hell, Moses married a black woman and his sister Miriam talked shit about it, so God gave her leprosy. If you don't like people because of the color of their skin or they're different than you, you're not Christian.
That's just you using religion to excuse hate. Y'all have a nice day.
Yo, I'm gonna be real. One thing about an interracial relationship, if you're not in one, you should mind your fucking business. Cause I think people should be with whoever make them happy. I don't give a fuck if you white and he orange. I don't give a fuck if she purple and you light yellow. Color don't mean shit. People be killing me talking about they don't respect interracial relationships. Really, you shouldn't care. I don't care if a Jamaican lady is with a Puerto Rican dude. I don't care if a white dude is with a black woman. My woman mixed. And I don't give a fuck what nobody think about it. So clearly my kids mixed too. I think people should be with who they want to be with. I don't think it's important for black people to be with black people or white people to be with white people. I think as long as you're compatible, you should go on with your fucking life and be happy with who you with. Y'all be wanting to see people with who y'all want to see them with. That type of opinion wouldn't even come out my mouth. Y'all want people to stay in their race, but you in your own race. And look at the nigga you got.
So a white man says that if you really love your race and culture, you would stick to your own race.
Interracial mixing is a mental illness. If you truly loved your people, your culture, your heritage, and loved yourself as an individual, then you would seek somebody within your own clan to make sure all of those traits are passed down to the next generation fully intact. Like, you wouldn't want any of that to change a bit. The people who are race mixing at a subconscious level hate themselves, because whenever you do it, by definition, there's gonna be dilution. Race mixing at its root stems from self-hate, and it's a guilt-based mindset. And anybody who doesn't want to preserve themselves, by definition, is not right in the head. They are mentally ill.
I know there's going to be some black people and white people going to agree with this take, right? Muhammad Ali would agree with him. But the difference is, Muhammad Ali is a black person who went through segregation, Jim Crow. That was literally oppressed. The system was literally against black people. I mean, the system is still against black people to this day. It was like a lot worse back then. You know what I mean? Like whites only signs. He went through, like, he couldn't drink the same water fountains as white people. He couldn't really go to the same churches and schools as white people. I mean, he went through that. Like, that's a big difference. Now, if it was back in those days, I would agree with that take. But right now, I just feel like love who you love. I mean, that's just my personal opinion, and I'm so some people are gonna have different opinions on this. Like, just because somebody is dating outside their race doesn't mean they don't like their own kind. I disagree with that. That is a bad take. At the end of the day, love somebody who loves you back, that likes you back. Now, you can have a preference. You want to stick to your own race, there's nothing wrong with it.
I would never want my daughter dating a black guy.
Tell me why.
Just because I want my daughter or son to look like me.
It's a good answer.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
And there is.
How would you tell her that?
Listen, it's not like I'm saying that you can't find like a black guy attractive,
right?
Or whatever it is with like a black guy,
right?
You know what I mean? But I'm just not a big fan of that.
Not a big fan of that. So you don't think she can have a black guy and the child come out looking like you?
Well, you're saying if it was like my daughter,
yeah,
and she like got with the black guy.
Yeah, you don't think the you know what I mean? You don't think he'd come out with the mustache?
Oh no, he wouldn't. He'd come out with the curly hair, brown eyes.
Right.
He just wouldn't look like me.
I appreciate your honesty. Come here, man. Is he wrong or what, guys?
Yeah.
No, he's wrong.
It's time to keep moving. It's time to keep moving.
So in my opinion, interracial marriages between black people and white people are a direct indication of self-hate, and this is on the part of black people, okay? Because I have friends who are married to white people. I have friends who are in interracial marriages, and unfortunately their children speak to me and express how lost they are, how they don't feel like they belong. Imagine, even their own children identify as black people despite having some whiteness in them. And also, people really don't want to tell the truth about these interracial marriages. Okay, now I don't care who you choose to marry. That's your choice. People have autonomy. Okay, so I don't like to triumph on people's autonomy. But one thing that I have come to realize is that for an interracial marriage to work out, one culture has to dominate. White people, most of them do not understand integration. The only thing they understand is assimilation, and they want you to assimilate and become same as them. Integration will allow you to keep your identity, practice your culture, your beliefs and values and all that. Assimilation would want you to start acting like you're white. This is why most of you who are married to the white people act white and do not understand your history. So this is why I don't support interracial marriage, because one culture must die, and it's usually the African or black culture, in order for that marriage to work.
Look, somebody got to tell the truth about the real reason why y'all won't marry outside of your tribe, race, or ethnicity. Because y'all are cowards. Y'all are scared about what your parents are going to say if you marry someone that's not from your tribe, not from your race, not from your ethnicity. They don't share the same culture as you. Y'all got to just keep it a bend. Just tell the truth. Why won't you marry someone outside of your tribe? And instead, y'all just sit here and say, oh, my tribe is the most beautiful people on earth. My ethnicity is the most beautiful people. Our culture is the best culture. Everybody can't have the best. The Somalis said they got the best. The Yemenis said they got the best. The Mexicans said they got the best. The African Americans said that they got the best. The European, the Asians, they said they got the best. Everybody said they got the best. They're the most beautiful people and this, that, and the third. Just tell the truth. You can't marry outside of your ethnicity, your tribe, or your culture. So instead of you just saying that, oh, my parents, I'm scared, I'm a coward, I'm scared of what my parents are going to say, or I'm scared of what my community is going to say if I marry someone that's black, or if I marry someone that's Asian, or if I marry someone from India. Just tell the truth. Me personally, I can marry whoever I want. My parents, they don't have an issue or problem. I don't got to worry about that culture, ethnicity stuff. I'm not worried about anything anybody got to say. I'm going to do whatever I want. If I love a woman for the sake of Allah, I'm gonna marry her for the sake of Allah. That's it. I'm not sitting here about to marry a woman just because of her ethnicity, or me and her come from the same ethnic background or same race or culture. I don't care about that stuff. What I care about is the criteria is the Quran and Sunnah. If she got that, let's move forward, inshallah. I don't care about that culture and tribe and ethnicity stuff, and I'm not about to turn a woman down as pious because of her ethnicity or her tribe. Or if she got deen, la bas. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Either attack men tarodana dinahu wa khuliqahu fazawijuhu." When someone who comes to you and their deen and their character pleases you, marry them. And in another hadith he said, "Either atakum min tardawna dinahu wa imanatahu fazawijuhu." The Prophet, he said, when someone comes to you and their deen and their trustworthiness and integrity pleases you, marry them. And Allah says, "Wanqiha ayama minkum," and marry those from amongst you that are single. The unmarried men marry the unmarried women. The unmarried women marry the unmarried men. The Prophet, he said, a woman is married for 4 things: her beauty, her deen, her status. Her beauty, her deen, her status, and her wealth. But the Prophet, he said, marry for deen, may your hands be covered in dust. Allahu Akbar.
One thing that stands out is that people have very different reasons for supporting or opposing interracial relationships. For some people, they are trying to preserve their group identity. For example, that black guy who tried to talk to his other black guy who is with that white woman. So he's trying to preserve the black race. Of course, when you look at it on the other hand, it looks like he's attacking them, overstepping, interfering with their personal lives. Just like any other race may also think about preserving their own race. We have heard of white people also saying that I don't believe in interracial relationships because I don't want my daughter or my son to mix with other races and procreate or have mixed kids. Some people, it's about preserving their culture. They don't want it to be erased. So they hope that their children marry someone whom they share the same traditions, maybe language, religion, or customs, because they worry that those traditions may be erased with time. And then also in relation to this, some people feel like mixing cultures can sometimes be confusing, like which culture should we teach our children? Is it with the European culture, the African culture, the black culture? That's why some people are saying that you see sometimes when you mix up culture, one partner's culture may be overridden by the other, and you find that this partner begins copying or behaving totally like the other partner and forgetting about their own culture or way of doing things. That is also another argument there. But we have seen interracial couples managing sometimes with this. We have seen where couples have been mixing up. You teach one partner about your own culture, then you also learn about your partner's culture. So some couples have been learning how to cope with each other's culture. Then others have also grown up hearing negative stereotypes about a certain race or group of people, whereby those ideas have been passed through generations, even if they may be inaccurate or unfair. Some of it is just about stereotypes that people hear about certain groups of people. For example, some people have some negative stereotypes about black people. So when they see a black person with a white person, they are like, what are they doing together? Won't my daughter or my son learn things from that particular race which are negative? I think some people just hate seeing interracial couples. Some people feel like their women only belong to them and no other man should date them. There are those people who are just like that also. Then, like one person there said about self-hate, yeah, it's true. There are some people who say, I can never date a black woman when they themselves are black. I can never date a dark woman when they themselves are also dark-skinned. So they go for the snow bunnies, they go for Asian women, Latina women, like the lighter skin. He hates himself for being black, for appearing dark-skinned, so he doesn't want to have dark-skinned children who will look like him. That is self-hate. But also, I think some people are not really against interracial couples or relationships or mixing race, but because of the pressure, say from their own families, their own communities, their own friends, they feel like people shouldn't mix just because they don't want to go against their own families and friends or the community in which they live. So with those that those people have shared and so many other reasons out there, I don't think people should be against who someone dates just because they are from a different race or they are of a different color. I think it's all about the genuinity of this relationship, the foundation of that relationship. Anyway, tell me, what's your thought about interracial relationships? Is it a bad idea to date outside your race, or it shouldn't be anybody's business? Share your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you so much for staying with me, and please, if you're new here, do subscribe and let's catch up in the next one.